Hello, everybody. Welcome to F1 Down Under. My name's Hayley,
And I'm Matt.
and today we're going to talk about the Aston Martin and Ferrari car reveal. The Aston Martin.
It's green. It's not black.
Yeah, which surprises me because I thought, seeming that they had a bit more money, I thought they would have put more carbon on and stuff. So
Well, yeah, they're very much, I think, trying to do what Ferrari do, and is they're really invested in that Aston Martin brand, and that green color is so linked to that. I
yeah,
think they are like a wannabe Ferrari. I think the way they run the team, the way that they produce the car, it's all very much around that Aston Martin brand. So I guess it doesn't, the livery doesn't look anything that much different from last year.
no, the car looks very similar to last year. There's some tweaks from last year, but there's a bit less paint on it, so there's more carbon showing.
Yeah,
But
the nose. One thing I did notice in it, I think it's most obvious on the Aston Martin, is that a lot of the cars now have got a much flatter top to the nose cone instead of it being curved. A lot of them used to be sort of, if you look at the last year's model, they're kind of rounded on the top of the
yeah,
nose cone, whereas these now, once you get away from the front wing, they're very flat on the top. Um, so I think that's definitely noticeable, and I think it really striking in the pictures of the Aston Martin. They do seem to have quite a lot going on in front of the air intakes, the wing on the side pods. Seems to be a lot underneath the flow.
but
So
from what I can tell from the side pods is that they've still gone in that Red Bull direction,
yeah,
but we obviously don't know until testing whether that's worked or not with what they've tweaked as well,
yeah,
kind of internally with all the mechanics and mechanical stuff.
they've all got that big shelf on the inlet to the side pods. That's something very common that a lot of the cars
A
seem to
lot,
have this year.
yeah, a lot with the lower teams, especially, they've just gone right. Red Bull worked, so we're going to go in that direction. I think that's what's kind of
Yeah, I mean,
happened. It
they were
may,
by far the fastest car, weren't they? So I think it's all kind of obvious. I think the front of the nose, the very front of the nose cone on this Aston Martin looks very similar to the last year's Red Bull.
but one thing I am glad of is that it's actually you can will be able to spot it in the crowd.
Yeah, I think and yeah, I think it'll be nice to sort of see it on the track.
Yeah. So, what about Ferrari? Let's talk Ferrari. I really like the Ferrari car. It looks quite.
Oh, this looks like a proper Ferrari to me.
It looks slick and kind of like, well, you said retro, like
Yeah, I think the red seems to be a slightly darker red, and
it,
that reminds me of the sort of early 80s. They went quite bright red recently, but I
yeah,
think now this has got that kind of it's a deeper red. It looks really slick. I really like the sort of white and yellow um, detailing that runs along the car. Yeah, this out of all the cars, this one to me is like the one wow, that looks
because
really, really smart.
the numbers are really clear as well, which I really like because when you're watching it, you go right. That's Carlos Sainz, that's Charles. You know straight away, even if you don't know, and even they have got carbon showing, but it's hidden in places that you wouldn't necessarily. It's hidden in good
Yeah,
places.
it's in the sort of shadows of the car anyway, so I think it just kind of amplifies the red. I mean, if you look at the front of the nose, you've got they've got a red fin in part of the
Yeah,
wing. It's just that makes it look a little bit different. I
and it's
think,
very striking. So it's
yeah. I really
And red's very striking to the eye anyway. I mean, we haven't had the Mercedes or the McLaren yet,
yeah.
so we've got to wait for that.
It's definitely that retro feel for me, and I think it looks, yeah, out of the ones so far, it really looks a proper proper F1 car with a really nice proper livery. You know, no doubting it's Ferrari, and I think again, looking at the sort of aerodynamics they've put in it, they've been worked really hard. They've got a sort of steeper downward curve under the side pods, the sort of shelf again in the side pods. So man, it looks really quick. I really want to see that one on the track. I mean, obviously launch photos look really nice, but I think that's going to look amazing when we get
Yeah,
it on a track as well.
so there's that one. I think so far looks most different, but obviously they came fourth in the constructors last year,
Third,
third in the constructors last year. So they've had the most money so far. So I can't wait to see what it's like on the track.
yeah, it looks pretty good.
And we're gonna have to wait. So
Yeah,
that's the car that's most different so far.
yes, definitely. And say I not a Ferrari fan historically, but that looks really good. Um, yeah, and I really do hope it does well this
It's
year. Particularly I think for Carlos with all the stuff with him moving, I think it's going to.
hopefully moving to a good team, and with Lewis moving next year to Ferrari, hopefully
Yeah,
that will solidify
looks like a
his
step
good.
in a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks
So
good.
so that's been F1 Down Under. See you in the next video. Bye.